Okay, Thad Beckham here. I hope I don't look like Chuck Schumer with these glasses like this, but oh man, your eyes go bad, they go bad. Today we are gonna make a really cool bird point. You know, you see a lot of Cahokia points and Madison's made and different stuff like that for, you know, the true arrow point. But this is just another variation of that. This one I made out of Briar Creek Chert, but this is probably on the large side or large average side. I think it's about 1 3/4 long, 3/4 of an inch wide. The Hafton area here, I guess it's about 3/8 of an inch to a 1/2 inch being normal. And they always had these concave base and had this kind of a fish profile. But these was actually bird points that were used during the Mississippian period, 800 to 400 years BP. So you would say about contact period or the time the Spanish arrived in the Gulf, and you found these points, I would say Louisiana being the central location, and it actually went west of Houston, Texas, and then over to Mississippi, east to western Mississippi. And it was like a big region there in the lower Mississippi Valley where these things were used. So early Europeans may have witnessed some of these points or seen some of these hafted. This is the Natchez culture, the Natchez people being Muskogean Creek native. Local materials. I don't have any material from that region, but I think they were made from a local chert or a jasper chert. Okay, you got this width here, anywhere from 3/8 to 3/4 of an inch. That's pretty good for the width of an arrow point. And then it comes down. You got this long hafting area, so your foreshaft can come pretty far up on this. Just taper it in. What I'm saying is you get a lot of wraps down your foreshaft to stabilize this thing. And I like these concave bases too. I do that on a lot of points. It just makes it sit and get a little more stable. Combine that with the point being, it's got a fairly good cutting width, a really good strong hafting area. But they're not talked about much. But this is kind of like a forgotten bird point, so I kind of like their profile, so let's do it. I would say the average would be 1 3/8 to 1 3/4 length, total length, exactly 1 3/4. And the hafting area here I may trim down a bit because that's usually about 3/8 or 9 millimeters. So, you know, this one, I mean, you get down to 3/8, there you go for the neck, about 3/8 on the hafting area, 1/2 inch. I mean, that would be a real common size bird point Bayou Goula. This point type was classified in 1957 at the Bayou Goula site in Louisiana. The Bayou Goula point has also been found in association with European trade goods in early historic graves. Okay, let's take the Bayou Goula point on a deer hunt. 4:40 in the morning, my second cup of coffee. This is nothing unusual. This is every morning. Okay. But anyway, going to a new spot and shooting my fire hardened bow, which the camera is sitting on top of right now. I think. No, what? Where's my bow? Oh, here it is on the bed. Okay. I got in my blind right at the crack of light facing east. There's a trail in front of my brush blind running north and south. I have a beautiful, light, cool breeze blowing in my face. And now I wait. Man, my deer didn't go far. I seen it fall in the wiregrass. Wow, it might have went 50 yards, maybe. Boy, it took that deer out quick. With my new life, sinew back fire hardened bow. And let's go see. Let's go get our deer. Man, that was fun. Hey, it was cold this morning. Let me get this thing off. It was cold this morning. Still really nice. We had hardly any wind, but it was drifting out of the east. And the deer come from the east, so I was in good shape. And then he kind of hesitated a minute, and then he stepped out in the open. Bam, there it was. Whew. This is where the deer was standing, and it looks like it's about 14, 15 yards, maybe. Just guessing, but that's what it looks like. The deer run north, kind of northwest. I stepped it off. It was about 50 yards by me stepping it off. So I believe he was hitting the heart. And I can tell you, man, he hitting hard, they're done. That's the trail that I was hunting. I mean, it's not totally beat down, but it's got some deer activity on it, and it's fresh. I don't know if you can see this, but this is on the same trail. And he stumbled here. I thought I seen him wobble. And you see it, he like to went down right here. You can see my deer laying right there. Okay, let's go over there to him. He's not a giant buck by no means, but I'm a primitive hunter. Every deer is a good deer to me. And there's my deer. Okay, there's the hole where it went in. I got blood up about 10 inches on my cane, but the foreshaft I think stuck in the far shoulder. 9 point. Look, it's kind of palmated here, kind of wide on both sides. Yeah, it's not a monster buck, but I'm a primitive hunter, and it's not about, it's about making a good kill. It ain't, it's about using your own weapon, and that whole experience of killing a deer with the stuff you made, you know, like people did for thousands of years. How long has it been since somebody killed a deer with a Bayou Goula point? You know, they were used down in Louisiana, Mississippi area on the Gulf. But I kind of liked the way they looked and made a few points. And the natives there were still using them, you know, when the Spanish arrived. So they're pretty late points in late history. But yeah, this is nice. I enjoyed this. That was a fun hunt. I got blood up to here on my arrow, but I believe the foreshaft, there's the hole. I believe the foreshaft went in. That's heart shot all day long. And it may be in the far shoulder. And very rarely can you send one into the far shoulder and pass through, but I have shot cane arrows clean through deer on, you know, rib, lung shots a little further back here. Especially if you hit in between the ribs, you know, it's nothing, no resistance. I believe this one hit something. It hit something solid. I heard it crack, you know, when it hit. And it was not extreme penetration, and it had me concerned. But when I watched him go down, you know what? The deer I shot the last day of last year, I watched it fall. It was heart shot. The first deer of this season, heart shot, and I watched it fall. And both of them with fire hardened bows. How cool is that? And this one with a Bayou Goula point. So it was made out of a piece of jasper, but really sharp. But I think I did panic a little bit. You know, the buck come out, he hesitated, but then he started moving again, and I shot a little faster than I wanted to, because that's easy to do. Because in the heat of the moment, you kind of want to resort back to that instinctive reaction to everything, and man, you have to really concentrate to try to fight that. I do anyway. But man, I got to get my buck out of here, and thank you, old boy. I enjoyed this. I know you didn't, but days of looking for does is over, and eating acorns. All right. Okay, let me get up. I'm getting old. These fragments of the jasper point is all I recovered. But it had done its grim work. It passed right through the top of the heart, completely through the body of the deer, and hit the right leg bone dead center. And I scraped out these fragments, and this is all I have left. But it did its job. Okay, got the one. Got this one this morning with my sinew bag file hardened hickory. Well, this thing's a pleasure to shoot.